Hello, everyone. Uh, so a big welcome to everyone in the Be My Guest season 2. So আমি হারি মানে মিয়ে হান খাল করি নরস যে আমি season 2 আরম্ভ করতো, and I'm so glad that I have started season 2, and thanks to each one of you to support and giving me the inspiration to continue for the season 2. And aji hopefully han season 2 hana to jahan tumi first season hana support and bana dila usade hano cheita rai with young talents. We are going to again rock the season 2. So today our guest is a very very special one. Me telo gatilo silu. I have met her personally also, and she is as delightful like she is talented. So without further ado, te arakjin isahan mating je her recent claim to fame was she topped the Meghalaya board in 2020, and habbi har pathai beba kami career handuri. So without further ado, let's welcome Mahima Sinha. Hello Mahima.
Hello. Hello.
So how are you?
I'm okay. Great.
Uh, uh, I have just given a small introduction about regarding you. So do you want to add something more about yourself on here?
I'm just a humble student from the community. Uh, Jan more testimony and the silamasi
Mm,
যে মোর HSLC results হান মানে যত হান মানে ওমাটিক promote করেছিল I was tremendously overwhelmed by
mm.
the support habbe je bana dila মানে habbe I'm so sorry just
Okay, okay. No worries. Acha, just give her a minute. I think Teta Kola Hana has say. Ha, I,
I'm back
yeah,
sorry for that
yeah, yeah.
hante Jahanmi bananum shipelu habpirang to mane even though more result han ekdom pandemic or hadigot nukule silvaro mi no khayal koresilu je matik mane jahanmi support han peito mane matik tremendous hoito kintu online e je sadaw matik more bana dila more video han promote kola share kola baro emon mane such delightful messages were there. They were supporting me, encouraging me, and
Mm,
tremendously, appreciating me for what I
mm-hmm,
have done, and I'm more than grateful
mm-hmm.
for that. Other
That's
than that,
wonderful.
I'm now pursuing my honors degree in literature
Mm,
from St. Xavier's
mm,
Calcutta. কিন্তু লকডাউন
mm-hmm,
আনার সালে আমার তাহাবি ক্লাসেস হাবি অনলাইনে চলে আর
mm-hmm.
এক্সামস মতে বাকা সেমিস্টার 200 নিয়ে বাকা দিত এদের জুনের তো জুন সেকেন্ড উইকের তো so it's basically all online and that's it yeah
Okay, okay. That's great. Thank you so much for that. 1 minute, huh? Actually, আমি দই গিয়া আজি খানি technical তে মানে laptop গই আছে মোর তো মানে ফোন হানতে তা problem আছে মোর দা laptop problem আছে, so আমি খানি আনুহানর কা হাঙ্কা তো লাগেছি গো, but still hopefully হওয়াই আজি দই আমার দিয়া. I am just hoping for that. So going forward, Mahima, I just want to ask you the first thing that you have chosen a very যেমন you have chosen literature as you have sent me your details, and এবার সেন্ট জেভিয়ার কলকাতা তে literature লো করিবি, and apart from that me যেমন তিয়া আগেও মানে মোর তোর ডিটেল শেয়ার করেছিল না humanities লো তিনি মানে যেমন interested আর কি. So I just want to ask that your career choice is little different. So what makes you choose that? Is it like a parents like তোরে guide করেছি না কোনো তো inspiration না it's your inner call? We just want to know that.
okay so this is something I would want to talk about
Mm-hmm.
because it has as much as it has been personal it has
Mm-hmm.
also been kind of a universal topic for the students in our country so what I have noticed and what I have witnessed personally is that আমি হুকাঙ্গতেতই মানে as students going to schools and pursuing our classes and education we have been there has been a hierarchy of subjects ever since. Okay, so after class 10th, we are most, most positively we are asked to take up science. Not because any science is bad or something, or not because science is scope nahi, bahut scope ase, but we are mostly taken aback by the decisions of our parents ki, you have to take up science, you have to pursue science, and not it's not important whether you have an intrinsic passion for science, or whether you have an intrinsic passion to pursue a field of career that is science oriented. কিন্তু আমারে মানে আগে তুই মানে এখন বক ডাউন করিয়া জায়গাতে তোরটা সায়েন্স লোনই লাগতো in order to become successful, in order to in order to sustain a very good economic livelihood, তোরটা সায়েন্স নিয়ে লাগতো। সো মানে উহানি পার্সোনালি উনি বহুত উইটনেস করেছিল। হান্তে uh, হান্তে my father, he's been a teacher for almost about 30 years now, so has been my mother. তে মোৰো কামে তই মানে মোৰ মা পাপাই মনা ছিলা যে আমি মেডিচিন পাৰ্সিউ কৰি বাৰু কিয়া বোলে মোৰ মাৰ্কসও অত আনসেটিসফ্যাক্টরি আছিল হান্তে তানু মনে কলা that I would do, you know, a commendable job in the field of medicine, মানে আমি MBBS being মানে however morta intrinsically agar to morto matic interest nahi hosil mane science e, and I was an ardent reader of literature. I used to love novels ever since I was in the third fourth standard, and that hobby gave me a very good impetus to pursue literature. So mane me who kamoi to mane more interest han upayasi in the social lives of people. So at a tender age of maybe 12, 13, or 14, I started reading and dwelling more into the field of humanities. So I would read lots and lots of books of human renaissance, humanism, and all of that, related, and that would fascinate me more. So there was no wonder in after class 10th, I decided to pursue arts, and this is a very funny story as well. Kya bole, 10th or pore, a very significant part of my class 11, I was in the art stream. क्या बोले preordainedly मोर पापा मोर नोवां करे मैं class 10th और board result हानु करते मोर admission आनी मैं ताजे गो बादे रुपे करे दे ही माने मोर marks दे हानी class 10 और अंते मी science आसिलु अंते for a very long time I couldn't garner the courage enough to tell him, to confront to him, papa, I would not want to pursue that. And for a very significant year of my class 11, I was in the science stream. It was just, I think, merely 2 weeks before our exams, our school exams, I just shifted to the art stream, and that is the best decision I think I've ever made.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So obviously, I have seen your interview, Mitor interview, Hanehanor regarding the Hesilu, which was like sentence on it. I think you have given a wonderful interview, and Habima no interview on the here. You have become a huge, like success among the youths. So interestingly, what you said about literature, like for example, as you know that, I just want to ask that what is the scope of the যেমন ফিল্ডে গো যে চুজ করে হ তেহানোর স্কোপে হান because you know that
Ma'am, the hang on
many for many
your
parents আচ্ছা এবাকা
could you repeat it again, please?
okay I'm just asking that এরা যে this field এ গো যে literature humanities যে choose করলে it's like what is the scope of this kind of subjects because most of the parents are not aware and because as you know that there is a network issue हाँ अभी ठीक है can you
हाँ
hear me now
yeah
more question আমি বারো repeat করি I think network issue ya gelga. Network hanan mane khani problem ya. Mima turita jahan tia bakamat le jahan literature humanities jahan scope arki as a subject, because you as you know that many parents are not aware and still they think that doctors and engineering and doctors is still the top of the mind careers choices for many. So what do you think, like what is the scope of this kind of subjects?
Yeah, I'll come to your question, but before actually technically, posing an answer to the
Mm-hmm.
question, me
Mm-hmm.
Anjani san share korani monari that
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, to pursue education, to have the this interest in pursuing knowledge, the interest in pursuing a field of knowledge. क्या बोले माने you have or the interest of pursuing, any sort of academia. Um, what I feel that habbi jinis habbi মানে field মানে habbi to monetize korane no lager মানে especially when you talk about education as such, as an enterprise these days, মানে education is seen as an investment. Yes, it is very important to sustain a livelihood where we can have that, that we don't have those economic barriers, and for that we need proper employment. For proper employment you need a good job, and for a good job you would of course need a very good education, a commendable, you know mm, work to your name, a commendable academic profile. That is all true, but I think that should not be the main focus, be the sole purpose of someone who wants to educate oneself. That is what I
Mm-hmm.
believe. Like
Mm-hmm.
all of that, your job security, your employment security, a good family, that will all come in hand if you're good educated. But when a person is, pursuing education, I do not feel that, okay, I'm pursuing this line of field because I have to earn money. I don't think so. That is quite an optimal way of looking into education or looking into knowledge, be it in any field of, academia, maybe it's science, commerce, or arts. Kintu mane education and huddala o mane perception halo chani je ehane more bad ditoi. I feel I find that a little absurd. Hante, what I would want to say is the art of education, the art of garnering knowledge, is something very beautiful and very lucid in its own. And I'm not talking about pursuing arts. I'm not talking about pursuing commerce. Be it any field, be it
Mm-hmm.
pursuing medicine, be it pursuing engineering, be it learning embroidery, be it learning cooking. The art of
Mm-hmm.
learning itself has a very beautiful undertone and overtone to it. So the
Mm-hmm.
moment we try to monetize it, that
Mm-hmm.
overtone of that purpose of actually getting that degree or getting that course for us, it becomes very monetized and it becomes very biased in that sense. But the true essence of actually the true essence of actually learning fades away with that, with that
Mm-hmm.
mindset. If you just say, okay, I'm just pursuing this because this has to give me money, so
Mm-hmm.
that is all. It will come hand in hand. Now what
Mm-hmm.
happens, what I believe is, when we look at education in that lens, I feel the excellency, the raw interest, the raw passion of pursuing something fades away, because you're
Mm-hmm.
constantly thinking, oh, if I do this, will this give me that amount or that amount? So that that passion, that rawness, it fades away. So once that passion fades away, you
Mm-hmm.
just end up becoming a mediocre student, or maybe you know a mediocre individual, if not a student. So you don't really excel in it, but you just pursue it to the point where it can give you, some sort of an income.
Mm-hmm.
And coming back to your
Mm-hmm.
question, আজিকালি লিটারেচারের বহুত স্কোপ আছে হাবির আগেতে। um, Pursuing literature in itself is itself a, a massive turnover in your academic profile, because be it in any infrastructure that you would want to work about, or you can do freelance writing and or teaching as a profession, or you would want to pursue. So there are many fields. Like, degree is just the starting point, and after degree, the course that you take up for your masters actually determines in which field you want to work on. So uh, this is this is more like a career counseling thing I would want to talk, but uh, degree hante lagere lager, but after that, literature dia masters se bahut scope ase. There are many branches and sub branches. Mane
Hmm.
there media communication, then there we have designing, then we have corporate offices. In every field, even in the administrative offices of our country, be it the civil services, be it the foreign services, we need
Hmm.
communication. So for that, literature gives a great aid to that field, to your dossier, to your personal work dossier. So
Hmm.
masters or whatever, sorry, bachelor's or whatever one wants to pursue in the in the field of literature, that determines your career. Linguistics, I say, you can take up linguistics to know the origin,
Hmm.
and then there we have more creative writing if one aspires to
Hmm.
become a writer. But I would say none of these would matter if
Hmm.
one does not have the passion or the intrinsic, the job for literature. I don't think so. Literature is, quite an easy stone to accomplish if one lacks the passion. So it
Hmm.
has to come from within. And this is not the case for literature, be it medicine, be it engineering, be it any field I feel, or be it anything. But one needs to have that passion, that intrinsic quality to attain, okay, I would want to pursue this because it brings a delight into my life, it brings a joy into my heart, and it
Hmm.
brings it brings so much meaning to my life. So
Hmm.
that is.
That's a very wonderful explanation you have given. And very interesting thing is like jahan teen matla ar ki je kono jinis ar monetize o part one everybody thinks on those lines whenever they want to like start their career and all, but passion o hanne it becomes so difficult to understand what we
Yes.
are exactly doing it, pay me more personal rari hanjemon we add korani monauri that I was into corporate profession for 10 years. But after that, I followed my passion after 10 years, like leaving that job, corporate job, and pursuing this, the thing that I love now, doing this content, digital marketing, and whatever, what job bhi hai. So passion one jemon thaile ti jinisu anarako mane you can give your heart and soul in that. What I
Yes.
totally agree with you. So
Yes.
that's a very
So once
beautifully like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
please,
once
please
you
go ahead.
put in your heart and soul,
Yeah.
so your income is a must have because you'll excel in it.
Exactly, exactly. Very
Yeah.
true. Beautifully said. Epe tore question I have said. Let us just get some questions. Baka commented to Shushanto Sinha. Thank you, Dada. Sudeep, I've been out of Facebook for. Oh, thank you so much, Sudeep. Thank you for that. I'm so happy to start Be My Guest with a wonderful guest. First episode, Hanate Aili Mahima. Thanks for that. And Kishore Sinha, very well said. We shouldn't look at the, yeah, exactly. Interest should be on priority. Okay, there is an interesting question. Miss Mahima, tell something about our judicial system of our country. I think they know that you are an aspirant of civil service, so I think this question comes from there.
Okay.
So,
So yes,
yeah.
I have started. I've just taken baby steps for my civil services because college work is hectic. We are given assignments every week. They just
Hmm,
pump out assignments and we have to submit before the deadlines. But
hmm.
anywho, okay. Tell me something about our judicial system. Okay, this would be a revision. Um, what shall I? I would just state the basics of our judicial system. Who is it? Probin Kumar. Probin sir, it's like you are taking a test. All right. So okay. So the
Do you want
judicial
to
system.
do you want to answer or like whatever? Like, are you comfortable answering?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Okay,
I would.
okay. Please, please,
Yeah,
please,
sure.
please go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the judicial system of our country. Okay. So now if I go to the details of the judicial system, which India has, it will take about an hour to actually extrapolate everything. So I will just give the basic philosophy of the judicial system of our country, and I will just conclude it with the false, the loop hence that is in there, which I feel. So our country, as it's the basic thing, our country has three organs of our government. So firstly we have the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. So the executive and the legislative makes the ministers, and the executives the power holders of the cabinet, and the judiciary. Now the judicial system of our country has been very inspired by the actually the whole of the constitution has been very inspired by the India's struggle for freedom, the national movement that millions of Indians had taken part and had given their hearts and souls for the elimination of British. So for years and centuries, our country was in constant strife under the reign of the British. So when we actually finally got our freedom in 1947. And in 1949, subsequently, our constitution came into the working. And that is how, when we got, that is how, India was declared a federation, a federal system in which means there would be different forms of, authority over the people. So also about after that, there's also a very important salient feature of our constitution, that our country will be governed by three organs, and three organs will be independent of each other, which was very necessary. So the three organs, namely, as I said before, they are the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. Now, the judicial system of our country, if you can just describe it, or like describe the formation of the judicial system in a pyramid formula. So at the very bottom, just like we have gram panchayats and gram sabha at the local administration, we have the district courts or the subordinate courts at every district. Now a city, again very basics, is divided into very districts and provisions and whatsoever. So every state, did I say city, every state is divided into districts and provision whatsoever. So for every district in one state, there is an established district court, or the subordinate court that we say, which is the lowest court in the hierarchy of the courts, of the judicial system. Now in a state, there may be many district courts in accordance with the number of districts the city has, and for the state alone there is one specific state court, a state high court. Now we have almost around 24 to 20 24 to 25 state high courts, if I'm not wrong, because though we have 29 states at the moment, some states share the same state high court. For example, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, and Nagaland share these same state high court as of Guwahati High Court. And very recently, Meghalaya got its own independent court just in 2014, 23rd March. So before that, even Meghalaya was, it had its state court functioning underneath the Guwahati High Court. So that is it. And so that is basically the local level. At the local level, we have the subordinate courts or the district courts, and above them is the one state high court that every state has to have one, except for a few northeastern states that share with Assam, the Guwahati High Court. And above all, above everything, we have the Supreme Court that is in Delhi. Now, the Supreme Court was previously called the Federal Court of India, and I think in the 1950s or the early 50s, it was then named as the Supreme Court of India, and that is primarily headed by the Chief Justice of our country. And whereas all the other courts are headed by a judge, and then the sessions are taken over by the lawyers, and one important, so that is about the the formation of the judicial system of our country, subordinate the state high courts and the Supreme Court at the center. Now, noting out a few important features of the judicial system of our country, one very important feature is that, and everybody has to have a nugget about this, is that this judiciary is very independent from legislative and the executive. That is, it is a government, it is one of the organs of the government, that is, it has an authority over the people. But it is very important to know that it is completely independent of the ministers that are in charge of the legislature, or the ministers that are in charge of the states, or even it is also independent of the prime minister. This is very important because above everything, above every laws and policies that a state might have, it is very important that justice, the concept of justice, the virtue of justice, and unbiasedness should never be mingled with any politics, or should never be mingled with any intercedence by any party or by any form of authority. Justice is justice. And it is also said that law se bada lawyer bhi nahi hota, like the law is above all. So in order to protect the edified law, the judiciary of the country has to be completely independent of the influence by the legislative and the executive. So I think that's about it. Almi arako mate parri, but it will take.
I think that's tremendous. Mane, me hanat tor civil service or jamon you one. I can see the like passion in you. Like why are you like so much and repeated and the and civil service or you wanted to serve for the country or and kisada jamon you got interested in this civil
Yeah,
service
as
or
I said, that ever since I was at the tender age of 12 or 13, I delved heavily into books. I At
hmm
13 or 14, I was already debating about communism and socialism. মানে মোর তো বহুত interest লাগে. So and in that prospect, মানে मी बहुत debate competitions এ participate করেছো, बहुत conferences এ গেহুগা, বহুত মানে
yes
but more latest time mege hilo ta 2019 I had
uh-huh.
gone, I had gone to Malaysia. Morta
Uh-huh.
conference Nasilupe. I was one of the Indian delegates to represent the
Yeah.
country of Ghana. So I was speaking for the United Nations Human Council for Refugees. There I was speaking
Hmm.
about the refugee rights and the trials and poverty faced by the immigrants. And they mane
Hmm.
more बहुत रुचि लागे
Hmm.
social 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 interactive জিনিসে, and I feel that I, but I feel that this interest can only be edified in the field of civil services, and
Hmm. So one more experience. My next thing actually like the mate will but the next thing I just wanted to ask was the experience of the UN and UNHCR as the kind of research or work you have done with them. How was your experience with that kind of যেমন জিনিস
uh,
ওয়ানোর হুম
So, MUN, Model United Nations bulia conferences all over the world or মানে উতারি competitions or deki conferences যেটা চলে রারি ওহানোর মাঝে
হুম
the participants are given a particular agenda to discuss
হুম
upon,
হুম
but particular committees where they can go and discuss upon that. And then me MUN circuit got both active asilo. মি গুৱাহাটীতো বহুত এমিউনছ কৰিছিলো, পিছতে দিল্লীতো ওহান কৰিছিলো তার আগে, বারো শিলংয়েতে মি অ্যাক্টিভই আসিলো। আর কিন্তু ব্রেক থ্রু আনাছিল তা যে বাকা আমি মোর পইলাকার ইন্টারন্যাশনাল এমিউন এক্সপেরিয়েন্স আমার কাছে সিলেক্ট হছিল, and we were just given a small personal interview, তারপরে মানে সিলেকশন আমি করলা based upon our experience. Selection and pore I got the results that I was one of the delegate in the UNHCR. Jehan conference har nang hana sita Asia Youth International Model United Nations ante one bahut reputed immune conference han pura Asia bar pura world or maje uhanat mane delegation nan pani hanu mane काफी
It's a
कठिन
huge,
हानारी
huge achievement. Yes,
हाँ हंते
it's a huge.
new hana जब select सिलो I was nearly 17 18 17 going 18 hante I was the youngest delegate hante me mare papa re matlu and because I'm the only child, I'm the sole child of my parents. Mane morta kuno bepni nei mi akhuli hante mor mai more kuno dino mane more akte kumpeo jani na dese mane to ki mor hutela dukan pe mane mor mal loge mane bahut overprotective
I
asil
know.
hante e hanat baro guardian parents kuno ki to allowed nei hante
Okay.
akhuli
Okay.
akhuli
Okay.
jani hante ubaka more me आगे मारे मतलब यार han my mom was petrified थी मतलब nothing हो जाएगा directly ते मतलब तीन हो जाएगा मी सारा तीन हो जाएगा पर more माउ teacher का हंते ते माने holidays नो पे लो माने कुनो break नहीं हंते ते मतलब ये जानो पड़ते का मी तो रख लियो कुंपे उन नोंगे होत का जगह हन आगो चिना जाना नहीं थी जाए ना थेगा किंतु in that sense my father was very supportive and and since you have a platform be my guest amar porichoy but ehanad mella manwe chitara ante mi arak message an hukangan konve
Yeah.
korani monari je
Please, please.
je ebaka bare with the world with the society progressing and everything me an monari je parents se amar ka bahut kortara happy parents se tanur mane children or ka bahut kortara ona maje ani kang your request an jodi thar mi han man monari khani an jodi supportive oile mane so mane you know mane student who were parents jodi khani an supportive oile mane it may be the career aspiration that they want to do maybe tanu engineer goni no hone tara maybe tanu singer goni moni tara ba maybe tanu um medicine pursue korai na moni tara pursue korani an sakte na kintu monile ta aro hobahan kintu jodi তারা ইন্টারেস্ট যদি চেঞ্জ আন থার তে ওয়ান প্লিজ সাপোর্ট করিও क्या बोले एबा का बहुत स्कोप है for everything but once the passion is there the money is a no brainer উহারণ গজে but ara yari han amar jeliso amar society and neighborhood in every field they are soaring high above the waters especially amar the females in our community be it in academics be it in dancing be it in sightseeing be it in anything be it in social media they are soaring above waters and at times they are at par with boys they're even above boys and hankuno mane gender inequality rihari hanno maturi boys and girls they should be treated equal hante uh, if if you are supporting your male child with the same amount I would request you to support your girl child as well like try to curb down the restrictions a bit because with the society progressing there is a much havoc anyway in the world and there if you're giving that tremendous support to your son you might as well consider that you know shackling your daughter just because on the basis that she is a daughter or she shouldn't do this or maybe oh she shouldn't she shouldn't go out because she's a daughter just on the basis of her sex it's I think uhan khanian restriction uhan khanian consider korle mane amar jile so arako mane arbare and in that sense mane me more papa bahut thanks janari like more papa uhan no kuno dino no khal koresil and he was even more supportive he was like you'll have to go mane ti jaga tata janiye lagte and he made all the arrangements be it finances be it asking the permission from my mother and he persuaded her that she should go my mom was like na te kutala jelaso akhuli jelaso go te jano parte ga jelaso go muni go na go I said, that might be a little sexist and just because on the basis of a sex you should curb down the restrictions a bit
That's wonderful. And mane message hanti actually mi han monasilu ti matmatia, and you have said it so nicely, brilliantly. I hope a pe happy jida chaitara they got the message very clear that abaka atkani na goi. We need to like let our gender bias one mean and boys and girls are both like doing good, but we should actually like promote the girls education tanu career choice hanebaka. There are a lot of scope, as you said, both Wako Matle. Thank you so much for this kind of message, Mahima. So we have a question for you. If you can see that there are a lot of emerging courses after studying literature of arts, for example, cultural studies, social work, media studies, women studies, which most of us are not aware of. Can you throw light on the same?
Yeah, so as I said, there is a vast scope in the study of literature,
Mm-hmm.
a vast
Mm-hmm.
scope. So these are, the mentioned cultural studies. Yeah, so these depend on what line would you want to pursue after
Mm-hmm.
your bachelor's. So bachelor's is the basic. Mane degree
Mm-hmm.
hante literature, it's a CBCS system, it's somehow the basic. Then after bachelor's, the masters that you would want to pursue, that will determine a lot. So yeah, of course there's cultural studies, then there's social work, media studies, women's studies, yeah, and which are most of them are not aware of. Yeah, so there is a great scope because now we see uh, monetization, and me just I have mentioned before ki ami habita monetize kore, and on the same policy the companies are also monetizing everything. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not that if I pursue social work, I'll be paid very less or my salary would be very meager, because if I work for a cooperative NGO as a social worker, and because the same policy of monetization, they would actually want to pay us more. They would actually want to promote that wing of their NGO more. So there's a lot, there's and a tremendous lot. Like some courses I do not even know the names of, but there is more, and it
Uh-huh.
depends on what you want to pursue. For me, Ebaka, I want to give my bachelor's in literature, কিন্তু তারপরে নি মোর civil service হারাকা মানে আমি এবার plan করেছি কিন্তু I have
Mm-hmm.
taken the masters a little, a back seat at the moment.
Okay, okay. So another question is like, could you please tell us about the admission criteria of Saint Xavier College? Being the best college of Eastern India, many students would want to study there. Also, tell us about the colleges you had applied and why did you choose Saint Xavier's only?
Okay. So my first preference was not St. Xavier's. My first preference was Presidency Calcutta. But
Oh.
however, the entrance exams to Presidency University, which is known as the PubTit for bachelors,
Mm,
they were cancelled, owing to the COVID pandemic situation. So they were cancelled. And by the time mane Jabaka, everything was sorted out, the admission was over and I was not notified. So my second preference was St. Xavier's. Okay. Utarage, I had applied for presidency in Chennai as well. There I got admission, but you know, Chennai's Presidency University is also a very reputed one. But I was a student there for 2 weeks until Saint Xavier's merit list was out. But কিন্তু চেন্নাই ইয়াম দূরে ওর হানতে মোর মাই বারো মোর মা ফ্যাক্টর গো হানতে মোর মাই they prefer kolo the St. Xavier's jaga. The admission criteria for St. Xavier's College, yeah, it's pretty simple. There are reserved seats for SC, ST, and OBC, but however, unfortunately, we don't apply to those. So general category ka ase. I think they change the cutoffs every year. Just like last year, both high Silhante ever so you can check it on the SXCC Saint Xavier's College Calcutta website if you want to know more about it. There are various of courses, and the cutoff on it has to be basically above 75%. Kintu pe bahut mane tanu chaitara mane merit chaitara mane cut off আছে কিন্তু cut off হওয়ার পরে তোর marks both evaluate করতারা আবার CBSE students are very unfortunate case again. CBSE students are বহুত নিয়ম preference দিতারা হতে ওহান
mm,
হুম
CBSE মানে one anarchy, but recently medical students have biharo sebaka like 12th
Mhm.
or the I think Sudeep, you got the answer from Mahima. So some comments I will just read out. Impressive, well said. And he is my father-in-law. Mahima's ambition is clear. Looking forward your career in civil services. And Henry Da, good interview. Thank you, Da. Thank you so much. And a historic interview indeed. Preserve it. We look forward for the bright future of Mahima. Yes. So going forward, both mane diyaji informations, lot of informations, and very mane well said. Have business about the girl child education, career choices, about your college, about your passion, ambition. Very nice. It's wonderful what you said. Evaka, Kanyan different. I know about you that non-academia, like you have a life there also. So let us like talk a little bit about your other, hobbies. You can say that, like I have seen your DIY skills in YouTube, in your YouTube channel, the modeling Okoriri and anchoring. Yes, anchoring Okoriri. So tell us something about your other hobbies, like what you are really doing right now.
Hobbies te ase, and I would credit most of it to my mother. মোর মা বহুত আগে তো মানে এক্সট্রা কারিকুলার অ্যাক্টিভিটিস বলে পাগল মানে মোর হুকাম হইতে তো হাপ্পি অ্যাক্টিভিটিস ট্রাই করেন খান দিল she I was just in kindergarten and she put me through Bharatanatyam classes and singing vocal classical classes and and art classes happy and then মোর মা and তারপরে হাই মোর hobbies আছে I love at the moment I'm very much into designing me
Mm-hmm.
designing বহুত মানে মানে ওখান মোর as an extracurricular activity মোর বহুত মানে মোর stress কেটে release করার হাতে বহুত
Mm-hmm.
design করে be I make a lot of crafts uh, and মানে যে কোনো জিনিস আন মানে মোর তা creatively যে কোনো মানে খঙ্করা নিয়ে লাগতো মানে simple জিনিস আন মানে ওখানে মোর তা creatively me funny ঠিক পারি হাতে
It,
I love designing I make some of my own clothes and I
oh
wear
wow,
them.
wow.
Yeah. So
Habire
I
one Mahimar channel go cheyoga. I would request DIY. I think yours nananghan mate darki so that they can check
even
out your
Mahima Sinha.
DIY.
Even Mahima
Okay.
Sinha more YouTube channel ko nang hante. Oh man, ekdom immature try han more me more hukang be ok show man more phone hato me
Uh-huh.
recording kore. More kuilakar video man na hante. Mi asha kore mi ba khani material kita kiti loilu মানে
Uh-huh.
মোর এই জিনিসওয়ান আর খানি ইউটিউবে খানি আর খানি প্রফেশনাল টাচ আনার কাম নিয়ে বা কাউন করুরি
Hmm.
আনতে এমনি জান ভিডিও আনাস আনতে বহুত immature try han আর মান আর কি তো নাই আর
About your jahan Instagram ati jahan literary gojeti page jahan khule hot ওখানোর
আচ্ছা
সম্বন্ধে খানিয়ান
আহা
মাতলে যেমন
হান
ইয়া
এহান বহুত মোর এবাকা মানে বহুত প্রায়োরিটি আছে হানল তাই
হুম
বহুত রিসেন্টলি আমি মি বারো মোর ফ্রেন্ড কত বই কিতা মিলিয়া আমি literary club খুলেছি and it's
হুম
called the Shillong Literary Club and they
হুম
if one may have observed the state of Manipur Imphale বহুত
হুম
লিটারেচার বহুত সাহিত্যের ক্লাব আছে যেটা অনলাইন
হুম
অফলাইন
হুম
ফাংশন করে মানে
হুম
মণিপুরি আমার মণিপুরি মানে বহুত খুলেছি বারো আর কেউ আসামু মেল্লাগো মানে লিটারেরি ক্লাব আছে যেটা বহুত ফাংশনাল বহুত মানে গ্রুপ ডিসকাশনস করে তারা হান্তে বিকজ আই এম a keen thing I have a keen thing for literature আমি মনে
হুম
করলু
হুম
কিয়া আমার শিলংয়ে নেই সাথে মানে কোনো লেজিটিমেট ক্লাব আছে ওথুদালা লিটারেরি ডিসকাশনস হইতে বড় যে ওথুদালা লিটারেচার বিষয়ে মানে একটু তাই আনতে
হুম
নিয়ে মোর ফ্রেন্ডস কত বই মিলিয়ে আমি মানে কুকাং ভেঞ্চারা ইনিশিয়েট করলাম এবাকা মানে এবাকাও বেবি স্টেপস আছে বা ডিজাইনিং লোগো ডিজাইনিং বাকি আছে এবাকাও মানে প্ল্যানিং বাকি আছে হু উড বি দ্য রাইটার্স হু উড বি দ্য
হুম
কন্ট্রিবিউটার্স
হুম
হাতে
হুম হুম
আমি বহুত আশালো হান খুলেছি এবাকা হানতে চেক one India, they want kumpe jarga. We would want ki millai contribute koraka, and it's just
Hmm.
because Nanghan Shillong Literary Club na hanna je it would be just confined to the city of Shillong hanna koi. Nanghan
True.
Shillong Literary Club kya bole on origin and Shillong to, kintu it
Hmm.
will be diverse. So yeah,
That's nice.
almost anyone can contribute to it, and we'll edit the pieces and we'll promote it. And আমার তো ওয়েবসাইট গো বাকা মানে বাকা it's on the making, it's on the process. বহুত আমি
Okay.
আশা করি যে একদিন আমার anthology and print হইতোই. It will be available in
Hmm.
stores, and
Hmm. Hmm.
if God permits, if the Almighty permits, then we might also come up with the first literature festival in the hills. Like it
Wow.
is what
Wow.
we aspire to do. Yeah.
That's really nice. That it will happen, and I pray for that. One of mati arki. So, Mahima, I think our already 45 minutes soil. We are already like towards the end of the talk show. So, Ebaka, আমি just জানার আগে last মানে তোর okay, one another comment has come. I'm loving this interview. Frankly speaking, I have never come across anyone, especially girls from our community, who talks about communism and socialism. Yes. So that's what she said, that girls are like above the phrase matlo both হওয়া লাগিল মর্তাওহান. This is one of the best sessions, Shelly. Thank you so much. Yes, definitely. That's why we have started Be My Guest season 2 with a bang, like with Mahima Sinha. Like they mane এইটা আমি আগের তোই মনে ছিল সিজন 1 ওহানাত আনানির কা, বাট সামহাউ ওহান মানে না হইল, এন্ড এখানে এপ্রিলে স্টার্ট করা নি আসিলাম সিজন 2, বাট ডিউ টু প্যান্ডেমিক এন্ড গরো আমার তো অসুবিধা হয়েছিল, আমার তো হাবি পজিটিভ ছিল করে ওয়ানোর সালে দে উই টুক টাইম টু start the season, and I have always in my mind that I will bring her in this season 2. So I'm really glad that she has become a part of Be My Guest. So Mahima, thank you so much. And Janarage, please mane tor message and for the youngsters, very important, because everyone habbe tore look up to Korea cheitara bakar young generation ane. So I want you to send them a good message through Be My Guest. Yes.
Acha. Habira gete more my heartfelt, thanks to you. I call you my Masi. So
Yeah.
but my materi ningko Korea manure sade respect deni lage. That is very important. I
Yeah,
feel
yeah, yeah.
more than educating oneself, more my and more hikat says more than
Mm,
the
mm,
academic profession or whatever profession you be it is very important first of all to establish yourself as a good human being, to that is to
yes,
respect one another, to have
true.
love for one another, to have that that respect. It is very important. Kya bole, I believe the whole of our human civilization, the whole of our humanity is just based on one thing, that is trust and respect upon each other. Without this,
Mm,
we might not even progress as a society, leave alone progressing as as anything. We might not even sustain our lives anymore. We are so interdependent upon each other, and be it anyone, you should have that general sense of conduct. And thank you, Masi, for having me. Me bahut মানে ভালো হইলো এতে the comments were lovely as usual. আর funny internet connections আছে কিন্তু
uh,
more message.
তোর মানে তোর ইয়োহান pause হইয়া আর কি, I think there is some internet connection problem now. So বারো log out করিয়া log in আক্ষুম করতে
Me hang
বাকি কই
osuda.
হ্যাং সত্যি মানে it's like glitchable এবাকা মানে I think network problem ওর কাপড়. Thank you so much Nirmala di, thank you Sudeep. এখন মানে তুমি যেমন encourage করলাই one or salad, I have started this season 2 because I know that there are a lot of talents in our community, and I hope season 2 hana to will try my best to bring them, and we have this kind of very informative and interesting kind of sessions. Just hold on. I think she has come now. ঠিক আছে বাবা. Yes,
এবার
please
ঠিক
carry
আছে?
on. ঠিক আছে বাবা. বাবা মাত.
More message on. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Okay, all right. Ante, I'm a student. I'm a humble student. I'm of, no position to, render an advice or anything. But I would just want to convey a belief that I've always had. That is, in order to, have a thing, in order to have a thing called life, in order to live as an individual, what is, I dwell much into philosophy, so this might sound a little philosophical, but this is what I hold very true to my heart. And this is what I believe. Jingtan ka manuar the both basic necessities lager. Jahanil the mane poisha lager, of course, good a good household mane hoba gor bari chakri habita lager. But to actually, live a life and not just merely survive. Survival ka poisha lager, gor lager, chakri lager, yo lager, habita lager. Kintu to to live more than a mere survival in this life, I feel like everyone should have a passion instilled in his heart, in his or her own heart. So that passion may be very eccentric or very different, and I just want to convey the message that even if that passion is very different, very out of the box, please do not feel ashamed. Please do not go under the curtain of saying, oh, what would the society say, or what would my mother say, or what would my friends say. It's very important that you should validate. Yeah, hello. It's very important that you should validate what it is that actually makes you want to get out of bed every day. For me, at the moment, I'm very determined to work for the people. I'm very determined to work, you know um, to do something out of my life that shall enhance the lives of other people. So it may be something else for you. It may be music for you, it may be dance for you, or it may be engineering for you, or it may be treating people with diseases for you, whatever it is. In any field or in anything, just you have to embrace what is that passion that makes you want to get out of bed every day, and you should constantly work on it, upskill your skills. These days we are very much neglecting our passions for very superficial stuff like binge watching TV shows, which I'm also guilty of. So, but I have realized that now, or binge watch, or binge, being on the social media, being on Instagram, watching YouTube videos, it is all good. But as youth, as we have all the time that we have right now, and also on the virtue of the COVID pandemic situation that we are in our houses, it is very important that in this very imperative value that we upskill what we have. So it may be dancing, it may be doing yoga, or it may be reading something. So please, if it is possible, upskill your dossier. In that way you can enhance, in that way you will know what you want to do with your life. And also, beyond everything, beyond your skills, beyond your you know um, career aspirations, beyond your academia, it is very important to be a good human being. It is very important to respect and love one another, and it is very important to give something, or to give us something to people without expecting anything in return. So this is called the unconditional way of living, the unconditional way of sustenance, the unconditional way to live a life that has nothing to do with monetization, that has nothing to do with commercialization, that I need to benefit, I am the one who should benefit. That philosophy that is constantly in our heads with the age of capitalism in the society. So so that, beyond that, we need to install this virtue of unconditional love for our fellow beings. And in Greek, it is called agape. Agape, the unconditional love that we may have for trees, for animals, for your cat, for your dog, for your friend, for your neighbor, for your classmate. Give everything, expect nothing. Oh, honey.
That's so wonderful. I'm just like listening to, I can listen to you for the whole day. Trust me. You are like so inspirational, so encouraging. I'm just like me hutto huniya tha na parto ti mane asta din nanto tullo arki. It is really, really wonderful and so beautiful comments are coming up. Tijo di chile Sukumar Sinha Bimal Kaka Dada he's from watching it from Australia now. Thank you, Kaka, for watching from Australia this session. And thanks. Okay, watching. And you have such a beautiful comment over here. Very encouraging. It's very important to have such kind of session that will encourage young generation. Keep it up and best wishes for my end. Thank you, Tapashili. Thank you so much. Mahima, I think Habyama Naji or session are both inspired and encouraged Othaiba. And we need more young talents and so aspiring talents like you in our community. Jegoi madi hoba jinisa han matle that passion career e tamane thaitoi but it is very important to be a good human being first. That is the most important thing jehan tiaji session e anat matle. I'm so proud to bring you in, be my guest and have this kind of lovely like interaction with you.
Thank you.
So everyone are inspired. If you see the comments, everyone are saying that literally very inspirational. So hopefully ami torem next time be my guest na goi but once like you achieve lot of things hoito uhanor ka tora raka kum ami daktangai even like after many years also. Okay.
Of
The
course.
comments are still pouring in. I can't like. I hope there will be more episodes like today. Yes, we'll try that. Thanks, Tapu, watching from Karimganj. Thank you, Tapashidi, for watching. I hope there will be. Okay, Mahima, these are the things like aji comments mane tor ka niyam para inspirational. You both hawa kor amar inspire encourage korle. And we wish you all the best. Jahanti kora
Thank
jite
you.
awaka. And hopefully we will meet soon in person also. Jodi Shillong to Lunga definitely
Of course.
we will try to
Shabana.
catch up.
Yes.
And in Calcutta, like the about online ni kore thai behabi mane tor
Online.
studies kita giti, right? Okay, ঠিক আছে তো let's see one mate আমি
Uh,
আজিকার session আর like করি. It's almost
uh-huh.
1 hour now. It was a very engaging session, so obviously I don't want to stop and let it continue. So thank you so much once again for being
Thank
here.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks to the audience. Habyatire mati khowa kor encourage bana comments kora nirka. Akum mahimay audience habira akum mati le tanu haroi tai for they are all watching your session now.
Thank you so much, everyone. Me more happy more homakat korori. Might encourage karainka not just now. Jabat tomorrow result Nicolas say last year
Hmm.
even though I don't know every one of you. Kintu je bana
Hmm.
nung shimora didayo hanaka. Thank you so much. I'm tremendously grateful and I'll do my very best to make
Hmm.
you proud once again. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes. We are really proud of you.
Thank you. All right.
Chalo dear. Okay dear. All right.
Good night.
Okay. Good night. So আজি আমি মহিমার লগে ইয়ে করলাম ফার্স্ট এপিসোড আরম্ভ করলাম and hopefully we will try to bring their man session and para encourage especially for students যে তাই চেইতারা या फिर tanur parents যদি বা চেইতারা session এ হানজে সাদো দুহিও we need more young generation like this যেটার তা thought process যেমন it's very মানে কিতামাত তুমি it's very different যেমন তেজহানা career go je matlo profession go je matlo han বহুত important jinisan one akum please মানে session and share করিও আর তা তুমি হয়তো মানে হান বহুত মানে encouraging পাঠাই বাই so ওখান মাতে আমি next season next episode ta jemon aitoy one we will try ki usa the inspiring youth ania habire mane jemon pandemic hanu cholese ba lockdown hanu cholese, so let us do something productive like this, informative entertainment esade kori ei jemon katia jagga one mate mi ajka session and recording it khania and dilo poril a gonta oil, it is like 30 to 45 minutes, but mati engaging or session and we could not stop it. So thank you everyone araka kum habire jeta te ajka session and chilai and habire one mate mi ajikar session and pay kori. Thank you once again, and we will again meet on next Saturday. Be my guest and every Saturday shatter shomoy hoitoi. So please stay tuned. So next Saturday arak jemon talents BM talents mane anto. So targa please thayo next Saturday at 7 p.m. Good night.